All right, y'all, so here we are back downstairs. You can see there's the beam. It's the first beam that I got in, that crystal I got in. Over here, I got the second beam in and just got that put up. Now, we are going to come from this point on this beam right there. We're going to put another post, and then we're going to build the wall from this post here over to that one there. I have a plumb bob hanging right here. Don't know if you can see that, but it's right here. I have laid out where my post is going to go. Now I'm going to push this floor up a little bit because I got a little bit of a gap in the beam here. I'm going to push the floor up, make everything nice and stiff, nice and level, measure for my post, and then get that put in.
Okay, Mr. Reeve, for the rest of us who are not as cool as you, what is a plumb bob and what does it do?
It's a pointed weight hanging off a string that will automatically hang straight down, so you can use it to make sure that your post there is straight up and down.
I see you're using your hands as hammers again. Is that why your hands hurt every night?
No, I'm not hitting it that hard. I just needed to barely move it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this isn't the real post that's going to go in. This is like a spacer, and you're jacking it up so that you can get the right measurement for the real post that's going to go in. Is that right?
Exactly. I have set, from when I put this beam up, the two ends. That end is where I want it, and that end is where I want it. I already leveled everything up across, down the length of the joist, or at the end of the beam. So now for this post, I'm going to put my level on either side of the post, make sure that I get it all leveled up, and then I can measure, and that'll give me a good height on my post. All right, we're nice and leveled up. I'm going to go get a couple little 2-foot pieces that are going to act as the temporary base for my post, get them set in place where they belong, and then measure for my post. Oh, where did I get that song stuck in my head?
Okay, Mr. Reeve, what are you doing here?
I have a mark on the beam where the edge of the post is going to go. I'm getting the plumb bob hanging right from that mark, pointing down so that I know right where the base for that post is going to go. Here I'm looking down on it, I'm lining it up, and just kind of kicking it into place a little bit. So now that I have that base right where I want it, I'm going to measure from that base to the bottom side of that beam that I have leveled up overhead to get the exact number for that post.
By number, do you mean measurement?
Yeah. All right, so I got my numbers. I just need to get that post cut and get it installed. It's real easy for us nowadays to with all of our fancy lasers and levels and everything else like that, to kind of write off some of this old technology like a plumb bob. But you know, that plumb bob's batteries will never run out, and that plumb bob will never need to be recalculated. So good thing to think about. Sometimes that old simple technology, you just can't beat it. All right. Now we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to lift up on this jack just a tiny bit so that I don't have to tap the post in. It'll just slide right in there. I can lower the beam right back down on it. Now my post is tied in to my beam and to my base, so I'll plumb it up and then let off the jack, and everything will get locked into place just with the weight of the floor. All right, that is closed. All right, now we're gonna let the pressure off that jack. There we go. Everything's nice and level. I already cut the 2 top horizontal plates in my wall, so I can go ahead and screw those in. All right, y'all, I got a flashlight set up. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you. Now, I have 2 2x6s. One that will go on the front of the beam along the top here, one that will go behind the beam along the top there. I'm going to get those screwed in right now. Now I'll cut a couple of 2x6s to go along the bottom here, and then I can lay those down and start cutting studs. Okay, got my bottom plates cut. My top plates are already in. I have my layout marks on. Now I'll start measuring for my studs and framing these studs into this wall. All right, I got my numbers. I got my first stud, which is actually going to be treated because it sits down on concrete. If you have lumber that sits down on concrete, you're supposed to use treated lumber rather than just raw lumber. So, got my numbers, got this piece of treated. I'm going to go cut those, and I'll be right back. It'll take about 5 minutes for me. It'll take just a second for you. There's the first 4 2x6 studs. Cut all these so they should be fairly tight. Normally, I would use a nail gun, but I don't have my compressor and gun here tonight. It's at the job site, so we'll just use screws today. about a couple more blocks, get them screwed in here, then I'll probably call it a night. I'll bring Miss Crystal down, let her see the progress and see what she thinks, and then it'll be time for dinner. All right, couple more pieces in here. Yeah, we'll be good. Now this certainly isn't the prettiest wall by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll work for what we're doing. So it's screwed in to the floor joists up top, but on the bottom, it's just sitting on the grade, on the gravel that has the visqueen over it. Don't know if you can really see that, but and the studs are just tight enough that they sort of pressure fit it, and then we put a couple of blocks down here and over here to sort of tie it into that post, which is tied in solid to this concrete footer in here. So it's getting a bit past dinner time, so let's go grab Miss Crystal and see what she thinks of our progress.
Oh wow!
What do you think? Come on down. So the center post is in. That will be the west wall of the cold room.
They don't go all the way back?
Yep, it'll go all the way back.
And the door will be here?
And the door will be over
wow, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, nice size for a cold room. And then from this beam, there'll be a wall that goes back right there, and this will be your pantry.
Cool beans.
What do you think?
Awesome.
And now you can go dance an Irish jig on the floor upstairs.
Cool, honey. Thank you.
You betcha.
Will be time for dinner soon?
It's definitely time for dinner.
Oh. I guess I better start making it then, huh?
Okay, deal. All right, y'all. So far, Miss Crystal seems happy. The next thing that we'll do is we'll build the section of wall that goes in between the beam and the outside wall.